I am sitting here with Pam Chambers, and Pam's going to tell us about her deep enrichment experience.
Well, let's see. I heard about this experience through friends of mine, so I decided to come in and try it, and I thought it was fabulous. I was quite surprised on what came of it. I was really surprised. So, and one thing I know as a therapist, that the body doesn't lie. When you're having problems physically, emotionally, usually the body will let you know. And what I found out through the deep experience is that I think she taps into the muscle tension. Am I correct, Josette?
I do. I feel the rhythm of the body, and so it's like it's the 12 systems all flowing together. But then there's also 3 stages of that, and then there's 4 aspects of that. So there's a lot that's going on in that 5 to 10 minutes.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, the session lasts. You've had a couple. Now you did the hour and a half.
Yes.
And I thought that was wonderful that you wanted to make sure, and that's the hour and a half is a great way to go in the beginning, just to make sure.
I mean, there was a lot that came out, but I could still see that there was a lot more left. And that's what you let me know as well, that there was more still in there. So I wanted to come back for the 3-hour session. You know, for me in my profession, of course, I need to be mentally sound.
Sure.
And the wonderful thing that I found with this is that, I mean, this could do as much as years of therapy, you know, which I thought was fabulous.
It's wonderful to hear you say that, because so many different clients see that. But what I have to do and make sure that's very clear, it's not a therapy. You know the difference? You want to go to therapy because once you have this, a lot comes up and you get that closure. Like you know, obviously you've worked on yourself, so, and all of that. But for somebody that's never really worked on themselves, they get that whole huge piece. And it's nice for them to, you know, mirror that and go see somebody else. You know what I'm trying to say? You get it all, but everybody wants to talk about it.
Well, exactly.
And where do you talk about it at?
Therapy.
Yeah.
But I just really found it fascinating just to see, you know, by touching the body, what can actually come up emotionally.
Sure.
You know, without even realizing it. So that's why it was so powerful, and that's why I think it's so beneficial, and that's why I want to refer my clients to you.
Well, thank you so much. Well, I'm very honored. Well, one of the things is this, and that a lot of people don't realize, because they'll be, is it Reiki? Is it hypnotherapy? What is it? All of those are energy modalities, and of course, hypnotherapy is very, very mental, and it gets into all the other stuff too. But what it is the body's rhythm. It's at the very core piece. When the identity is being formed, there's an actual flow and a whole pattern. So as you're growing that part of yourself, it's connecting with the brain. Do you see what I mean? And you're getting your own little natural rhythm that no one else has but you. And so I just can feel your rhythm, and so once I find it, I balance that out, and then you come up. And there you are.
Wow.
And so it's very individualized. So a lot of people, you know, when they walk through the door, they want to tell me everything like a counseling. It's like, I don't want to know anything. Because like what you said, the body doesn't lie. Your body's going to say it all.
It will.
It will tell you, and it'll tell me, and we'll just let it come up. And so.
Right. It's like snowflakes. No two are exactly alike. Just like people.
Yes.
None of us are alike. We all have our own energy, our own rhythms, and you have to find that. So that's what you do.
Yes, that's so beautiful. I love that you put it that way. And that's so true, because so many people want to do the learned modality or the learned part of who they think they are, when you can't. It's the internal organic expression of that. So once that piece connects and comes out, then it just continuously keeps coming. And when I said what you'll find out with so many people that come, I recommend everybody do the 3-hour, not because yes, it's at the resort and it's more money to do the 3-hour, but you really need that 3-hour if possible, because you're going to get in there and it's just the right amount of time for all of that to come up in the insight to really stick and get there. And so you understand it. Like in the hour and a half, what you probably saw is like so much information comes up that you're still digesting when you leave.
Right.
And I'd rather you get it all right then and there. You
Right, exactly. Information and emotion come up.
Yes.
Both of them come up, and it's, in an hour and a half, I think a lot of emotion came up, but I think it was a little harder to get the information up.
Right.
But then I found in the 3 hours, emotion, and there was more time to get information up. Because you're kind of surprised about how it's working at first. At least that was my personal experience. It's like, wow, where's this emotion coming from? At least that's what I
Yes,
said to myself.
everybody says that.
Right.
Because this is the thing. If you knew exactly what was going to come up, you would have already resolved it, and it wouldn't be coming up.
Exactly.
Nothing comes up that you've already worked on. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I know exactly what you mean.
So it's so wonderful, and it's great. Now, sometimes somebody will say, "Oh, well, why is this coming up? I've already worked on that," but they hadn't got the bigger piece underneath it.
Right.
Because sometimes you can, just gauge and get the top part of an issue, but this goes right there and takes it, and the body processes it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not us doing it. The body does it. And I'm glad you said that in the hour and a half that you didn't really have the information as much as the emotion. What happens is it's a density type of thing. First of all, your body will balance out, so you get the imagery, and then you're able to start to get some of the emotion. The emotion has to lift and move, so the insight sets in. So we've all had hindsight, and we've all had insight. The insight is when all of that is moving up, and then
it's tapping into the unconscious too.
Yes.
And as far as we all experience pain, I think, as a child in some shape or form. And I think you have to, you have to remember the pain, correct? And then remember the pain, feel the pain, and then grieve the loss of the childhood, and then heal the pain.
Yes.
So.
And all of that happens in a matter of 3 hours.
Exactly.
But with it's just very interesting. I know, like, for me, one of the reasons I founded a women and children shelter is I looked at my own pain. I was like, oh, I have so much, and and I want to help. And then you meet all these women, and your pain, like if you really wrote it out and you were detached, or you've cleared from it, you look at it and you're like, wow, I really had it easy compared to all these other people. Well, then the funny part is that you'll have somebody else that didn't get an ice cream cone, and they will feel the same exact pain. So when we're young, we don't have the development to really put pain into a different category. If we feel it, that little not getting the ice cream cone may be the thing that has stopped you from getting the promotion at work. I mean, it's the silliest thing.
You can go, as a child, you look at these things and events that happen to you from a different cognitive development. We don't understand consciousness rationale, and as a child, it can feel life-threatening. But as a grown-up, we can look back on it, and we can look at it totally different. But as a child, it feels like life or death if mom gets mad at us, or dad gets mad at us, or doesn't give you the ice cream.
Yes. And so, I know. And one of the things that I wanted to really say on that as well is the whole fact that there's no time. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I experienced that, where time doesn't exist. You can connect to, I think, the spiritual world. Well, I did connect with the spiritual world, as well as the past, the future, the present. There wasn't any time.
And there's not. And then there's like parts of yourself that are kind of suspended at those stages that aren't developed, and that part is now meeting this part. And once they then it's then it comes all to the present moment. So that's very interesting.
Yes. I loved it.
Well, I am so glad, and it means the world to me that you came in. What I'm really trying to get out there and share with everybody is that this is a natural, organic process that we all go through.
Right. And
if you look, like my grandmother died when I was young, and when she was on her deathbed, I was holding her hand. I was 15, and I could see her whole process. I could feel it and see it. It was like a movie screen, just like a deep session is what it was like. And so then it really dawned on me, it just was just very aware that we were going through that, and it somehow hit a chord with when I was little and going in and out of the dysfunctional states, you know, it was another big piece of that puzzle. But the only reason I bring that up is why wait until your deathbed to go through this?
I agree.
Because then you can enjoy your life and be
Right.
euphoric.
Exactly.
You know, and so.
And you can go back to that place every now
Yes.
and then, I think, where time doesn't exist.
Yes.
At least that's what I've been able to do with that. So.
Well, and the more you do it, the more you go there and strengthen it, then it's there all the time because it's like touching infinity. And so once you hit that whole place inside, it just keeps expanding, expanding, expanding. Now, of course, you know, we have to do all these different things. I mean, I'm not always there either. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Exactly.
I mean, you're doing this, you're doing that. But the more that you work on it, the more you expand, the more you, you know, balance out. Because I did say that, I want to add one thing to make sure everybody gets it, because sometimes people will go, you know, like The Secret brought up a lot of stuff for some of my clients. Like,
Right.
maybe I'm not spiritual enough because I'm thinking this and it didn't happen, and, you know, something along those lines. Especially in this format of work, what I want to say is that how it is it's kind of like a wheel analogy. If you're in the middle, you might be going really, really fast, and if you're here, this could be your rhythm, and out here is your rhythm. It doesn't matter what your unique rhythm is. That's your individuality, because the wheel gets there at the same time. You're still part of the wheel, so there's nobody more, there's nobody less.
Exactly.
There's just individuality,
Yeah.
and then there's also the wholeness. So.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much,
Thank you, my dear.
sweetie.
All right.